All right, Duncan. Quick turnaround from the weekend away. Now you're back at home for 3 straight games, including Open Cup. How much does that kind of benefit of just like having that kind of road trip and now coming back, knowing you're at home for the next 3 games?
Yeah, I definitely think it's huge for our momentum. Being away from home, it's feel like it's been a few weeks now since we've played in front of our front crowd. So definitely glad to be back for a good stretch of games, and hopefully we can take advantage of the home course advantage.
Obviously, the last game in Montreal was a tough one just offensively. How have you kind of worked on it in training last couple of days, just heading into Wednesday?
Yeah, I think just taking it one game at a time. Now we focus on Philly and look at their defensive shape and how we can break that down. And I think this week, or at least the past few days that we've had to work, we've done a good job at our shape and seeing how we can break down Philadelphia.
There are 4 more games left before you guys go into the World Cup break. I guess what are you looking to really kind of accomplish, I guess, individually, as far as where do you see yourself as far as how you kind of grow into the game before you guys go into this extended break?
Yeah, I think what Martin said to us, and we all agree with him, is we just want to come out here with points. We want to get as many points as we can before the summer break. Obviously, a really slow start to the season, but I think if we end it, on a good stretch, we can carry that momentum into the second half of the season.
Looking at it in a way where the glass is half full. The team's had slow starts before in the past and has turned it around. Is that something you kind of lean on as far as getting some type of perspective, knowing how the season's kind of gone for you guys?
Yeah, it's definitely hard to have a tough look at it when we have those stretch of games where we lose 5-0, 6-0. I think 5-0 again. I forgot how bad they were, but yeah, I think in 2023 is a good example. I think we had a tough start to the year, and then second half of the season we went 17 games unbeaten or something. So I definitely think there's chances in the season where you can go on those runs. So I think it's just grabbing as many points as possible when you have the opportunity to.
These last 4 games on the road, 1-2, lost 2. Seems like everything's kind of up and down, kind of inconsistent. How do you guys stay on the more consistent path?
Yeah, I think we just need to stay keened in on what we're good at, and I feel like in some of the games we've gotten away from our style of play and kind of let the other team dictate the way the game goes. And I think if we just do a better job at keeping the ball and making the other team chase us, we'll find more success in the win category.
With how this season has gone, how would you say the vibes are in the locker room with the guys?
Surprisingly, with how bad the season started, I was very surprised at how the boys reacted and kept good spirits up. I think we knew we were a good team, and the results weren't how do I say this? They just didn't really show how good we really were, and I think we did a good job of keeping our heads up and bouncing back.
The group seemed very optimistic. Laughing and jokes on the rondos earlier this training. Also, that speak about how this group is strong mentally, facing 3 important games at home.
Yeah, I think we're a very tight group, which I think is very helpful. Speaking around the friends on other teams, I think from what I've heard, we have a very tight group, probably one of the closest in the league, and I think that helps when we go through challenges of tough loss streaks. But yeah, I think the mentality that we're going to have going into these 3 games is huge. It's definitely a big plus. From the last 4 games of this part of the season are at home, and we get to take advantage of that.
You look at Philly; they haven't had a great start to the season as well, considering they won the Supporters' Shield last year. Do you go in there how do you go in there not trying to underestimate how they're looking and making sure you guys go in there with a proper response, considering how you guys did also last week as well?
Yeah, I think it can be easy to underestimate a team that doesn't have a good start this season, but we're also in the same boat. So I think we know what position we're in, and we know that we can't take any game for granted and come in flat-footed in any game. So I think Martin's done a good job at keeping the mentality good for this game coming up on Wednesday.